Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to the first session of the long talked about and little done about Wholesome vs. D&D. I think we started talking about this a year ago, because was it Jonas or Madi was like, yeah, I want to play D&D at some point, and I like put together a campaign in a weekend, and then we just sat on it because life. But here we are. So, I guess... I don't want to say left to right, but Lalash, you want to lead us in? Who are you? What do you do? And who is your character?
Hi, I'm Lalash, and I'm a Twitch streamer. Twitch.tv/Lalash. We probably won't do that every single episode, but
No.
I'd like to introduce you to my character, Garrett. Garrett is a gnomish rogue. Specifically, he is a scholarly rogue who attended some of the finest educational institutes in his homeland, and was then discharged, I think is the most appropriate word. He lost his scholarly posting, and as a result has taken to roaming the world looking for hidden artifacts and ancient ruins to explore some interesting theories that he has about the world. He's joined by his faithful and ever-present companion Bubbles, the sugar glider, who lives in his hat, which is, as you can see, a vibrantly coloured tea cozy. Garrett's a little bit of a coward. He doesn't really like fighting or confrontation, but he understands that it's a regular part of this new profession that he has found himself in. Yeah, that's who I am, Garrett, the intellectual rogue.
And what's the class of your sugar glider? Just for those of us
Pulse.
at home.
Barbarian.
Yes, just
Barbarian.
Barbarian. If you stick your hand inside my tea cozy, don't do that unless Bubbles likes you.
You hear a
It's
little
nibbly.
voice that says, I would like to rage.
A tea
All right.
cozy, no less.
Madi, who are you?
Yeah.
And what do you do? And who's your
I-
character?
I'm Modiply, also Twitch streamer of the Wholesomeverse, but I am playing Ozti, or Oz for short nickname purposes. Not that Ozti is necessarily long. I'm a Yuan-Ti artificer who was actually raised by dwarves in a smithy, which kind of leads into a lot of who he is. Basically spent his entire life kind of in and out of the forge, tinkering and discovering different things, and kind of became obsessed with the arcane and mechanical. After the first 19-ish years, the dwarven family that he had been raised by, which I think I had called the Emberbeards. Yeah, sorry, I have to pull this back up again. Were ready to send him off to kind of explore the rest of the world, and also to just stop the forge from exploding for a couple days. And this call to adventure led to a wonderful time meeting this group of people and learning more about the magical world around him. He's not super concerned with people so much as he is concerned about learning literally everything he can. And when something piques his curiosity, it might be a little bit hard to get his attention pulled away from it. Other than that, Artificer is a class that I am not used to, and I'm going to need a little bit of help getting stuff together.
I will try. I have never played Artificer either, but it should be fine.
Yeah, I picked a real doozy for my first ever time playing D&D.
I'll make it up on the fly for you.
Yeah, same here. I made this specific adventure as kind of just like a light thing that you know, minimal. Well, I don't know if it's going to be minimal threat.
I think I'll be good. If listening to D&D podcast counts as homework, I have I've got a 4.0 right now.
Yeah, I've started listening to them again.
Where I'm at.
They always infect my brain, and I start taking elements from them, and I'm like, no, I got to stop that. But anyway, yeah. Artificer should be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Make thing.
Jonas, who are you? What do you do? And who's your character?
Oh, I got a doozy. Hey, I'm Jonas. You can find me at jonas.tv for all the links, or just go to youtube.com/Jonas. I don't stream as often as I'd really like to, just because I'm a dad and I work more than full time, and it's kind of tough to do that. But go to those links, follow me, hit them up. I'm almost at like 2,000 on YouTube, which would be kind of a milestone. Never thought I'd get there. Anyway, I am playing Malthus of the Ashes, a tiefling, I think is the pronunciation of the race. A cleric.
I've always called it tiefling, but I'm up for either. I don't know.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100%.
I was the kid that thought prestige classes were prestige classes for like the longest time.
Artesian.
I love prestige.
Yeah.
So a bit about Malthus' background. Was born by a wizard in a graveyard. His mother was obsessed with death and the meaning behind it. When Malthus was old enough to understand the balance of life and death in the world, she took him to a nest of birds. She placed a sack over top of the nest and suffocated all the birds. She then reanimated the corpses of the birds, showing Malthus necromancy. The birds, turning from living entities to dead creatures, fascinated Malthus. Soon after, his mother fell ill, poisoned by injecting horse dewormer, sold to her as a medical cure-all by a local doctor. Her dying wish was for Malthus to turn her into an unholy symbol of Mirkrul, which I think is pronounced correct, and displayed at the place she gave birth to him, the graveyard at the School of Necromancy. That's my character's background.
Right.
So
I'm down for it. There's some life lessons in there.
There's a lot going on. I'm afraid of getting to mine. Mine that was cooked up this morning.
Some personality traits. Malthus is obsessed with death and the undead. Can't resist walking through a graveyard at any cost. Is night-sighted and inattentive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, for those graveyards, does he hold his breath the entire time? So I know that was like the old superstition that my friends would, whenever we'd drive by a graveyard, they'd hold their breath. Some would kind of like pass out.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, drive.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fitting character trait.
Just walks into a graveyard, gets so excited he forgets to breathe, passes out.
Oh my god.
I am not strong enough to drag Malthus out of graveyards, so let's try not to do that.
All right, I won't put it in.
And
I'm strong enough to do it.
Rito, what do you do? Where do you do it? And who is Cub Smith?
My name is Retromation. I do YouTube, I do Twitch. Indies every day for a long time. Almost like freaking 10 years or something. It feels like 20, probably 30. I think 30. I think I've been doing it for 30 years. I am playing Cub. And as mentioned, I had a short term to make this up, but he's got a sweet backstory. I think that describing it around his name is probably the best way to go. So the Furbog tribe he was born into operates on a system of hand-me-down names. So basically, whenever a new Furbog is born, they kind of like they trade down the names. So it starts when you're born, your name is Cub. When the next one is born, you pass down Cub to the next, and it goes like chieftain down, everything like that. But after there was a goblin raid on the camp, he was left as the only male Furbog in his tribe. So there was no longer anyone to pass down to in that tribe, and he refused to change the naming conventions. He was not going to pass down the name Cub until he was able to start a family. What else we got? And then, so can I say the city name, Wander? Is that
Yeah.
allowed, or is that?
Yeah, that's
upon
fine.
arriving in Bastion, the city here, basically he was asked to give a surname because he needed identification. So he questioned what the most common names were as a kind of a shortcut to create naively create a family, under the impression that if he joined their surname, they would be a part of his family in some respects. And the most common last name, and one that he heard on his travels to the place to get the identification, was the last name Smith. Through various means, both through last names and other words, he had landed on the name Cub Smith. He is a gentle, well-meaning, aloof giant, and he is incredibly invested in the concept of creating a family by any means necessary.
Oh no.
Including necromancy.
Oh, okay.
Hey!
So, you guys, I guess I'm just going to dive into this. So you guys have at least known each other for one, maybe two adventures, maybe happenstance brought you together, maybe just like a random job offer, and, everybody else was just the nearest person on hand. But suffice to say, you've done at least like a little bit of work together before, and you have been given a couple of job offers that you were all kind of weighing the options. You really only can maybe like do one or two before they expire, or the client finds somebody else. But each of you kind of has your own preferences on what kind of adventures you want to do. And so you've gathered yourself in the Bog and Grog, an inn of not no repute or some repute. It's just kind of an inn tavern. It's cheap, it's affordable. The food is mostly good. It's got a bit of a zest today. You can see the tavern keeper, the barman, is polishing mugs, and you've got two other patrons in the far end of the bar from you, and they seem to be arguing quite animatedly about a train. But apart from that, they haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to you, and it's pretty quiet today. So I guess, what adventures are you guys trying to potentially go on? And do you guys have like a food or a drink of choice at this inn?
Well, we're trying to get Cub laid, so
No, I need to rephrase my origin story because I realize the concerns therein. He is unable to produce children via the means that you are implying. He is unable. He tried. He is unable. He wants to create one by basically telling people that they are a part of his family, whether they like it or not.
He wants to recruit family members, not...
He wants to recruit family members, not... He is unable to spawn them via traditional means.
Okay.
To make that clear.
Garrett is intrigued by the argument because he doesn't understand how social graces work and why people fight. Like he's really socially awkward, so he's paying really close attention to what those guys are arguing about right now. That's like all he's focused on. Even if you ask him like what he wants to be doing right now, you can see he's just like straining to listen and like muttering to himself.
Roll a perception check, because the dwarf is pretty quiet and the halfling is loud, but not that useful. Here, I'm gonna spam the chat for a second. Just ignore me. There's an invite player link in the chat, and I keep mousing over it, and I hate
angry.
God is mad. It's just been screaming.
I'm really trying to listen.
Okay, so
really,
unfortunately,
really
mostly you're just picking up that the halfling did something and is very, very animatedly arguing that it is not his fault that they lost the train.
Okay, so if I cannot make out the details of the conversation, I'm just getting up and like wandering over and peeking around. I don't know, is this like a pillar or something?
Yeah.
Just trying to get closer. Like,
so they are pillars holding the roof up, but they also have kind of light sources ensconced inside them. Magical, not fire, because that would be really dangerous. But it's just kind of like a little, I guess, ever burning torches. I don't think actually burn. Per se.
Heat,
so
no
it's
smoke.
Yeah, so it's something like that. But so you're a small gnome. You can fit behind one. I'd still say make a stealth check. They're not really paying attention to you, but one of them might catch you out of the corner of the eye. Never mind, they don't see you at all.
I am much better at sneaking than listening.
Is it rolling twice because of some advantage?
So it's an option for this game. So the rolling twice is advantage.
Right.
And so I'm always going to be taking the left one unless you have advantage or disadvantage, which is a mechanic in 5th edition. So say if you're in an advantageous spot, you've got a buff, something has happened that gives you an edge up on the enemy, say when you're attacking or rolling or trying to jump. Instead of, just getting a numerical bonus, I will say either you have advantage or disadvantage. Say if you're trying to do like a running jump out of muck, obviously you're going to be doing that at severe disadvantage. You roll twice and take either the higher or lower result depending on if it's advantage or not. So hopefully
so
that
it's
makes
just
sense.
always going to roll twice with this.
Yeah,
No,
we
yeah,
can
I
disable
understood.
that if it is confusing. I don't remember how though.
No, it's not
Yeah,
confusing.
it's-
I was just trying to check because I know advantage, disadvantage. I just hadn't used roll 20 before.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
you
slightly
can disable
explaining
it on a character sheet, I think, but
Yeah.
Oh, understandable. Yeah. To
Yeah,
everybody
I'm
else.
over explaining because some people might have never played 5th edition before, and I'll have a separate video explaining how D&D works. But for people that have just dived in, so you sneak
While-
out behind what? What's up?
No, go ahead. Sorry. No, I was going to say while Garrett is being a weirdo, I'm going to go get a dark rum from the bartender.
Okay.
The darkest of rums, the blackest, like tar.
Okay.
Rum. I'm just going to go see.
You know what?
this
Just for
is-
the sake of it. So while
I
Garrett
can
is
wait.
sneaking up on the arguing people, you go to the bartender and you ask for the darkest of rums that you've ever seen, ones that would scare children if they even beheld such a liquid. Make a is it a diplomacy or is it persuade now? I'm still stuck in 3rd edition.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
roll a
I've been
persuasion
there.
just because.
Okay, further question.
Yeah.
How does one do that?
Okay, so
If I go
go into your
into
character
roll-
sheet. So you
Oh.
are Malthus of the Ashes. So if you go into your character sheet, go to skills, and you should see. Oh, right, I can control your character sheet. So you should see that there are little dice symbols next to each and every one of these
Oh.
skills.
That's super handy.
So you just
Perception,
find
you said, right?
persuasion, click the button, and there you go. There you go. So you roll a 12. He looks at you for a little while. I was like, well, we don't have any of the good stuff, so here you go. And he just hands you. It's a nice dark rum. It's not the darkest rum. If you were to tell your necromancer buddies about this place, or the other edgy fellows that you sometimes come in contact with, you would not recommend this place. But I mean, it's an okay dark rum.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to go
All right.
back to my table and stare inattentively to the table.
All right. Well, I mean,
While
presumably
Garrett
you guys are
continues
discussing
on-
an adventure, or not.
While this is all going on, Oz is engrossed in messing with a little brass. It looks kind of like a lighter, but with some extra gears in odd places and teeth on the top. And literally didn't even notice when either of them left the table.
Okay, so Cub, do you have any preferences for adventuring, or are you just kind of here?
Cub is mostly here. He will probably, for now especially, often divert the call to cousin Oz, the fellow Smith that he has heard about. He's grown quite attached to. I don't know if it's a one-sided relationship or not, but he's grown overly attached since he has heard he's a fellow Smith from his history.
Okay. So you guys effectively have no leadership structure, and just like if somebody tells you to do a thing, you usually just end up doing it.
I would say that
To be the case.
Malthus has the desire to work towards fulfilling the what is it referred to as, the skull fee from his mother, and will often attend funerals and so forth.
You
And
guys just
fulfill
love
skull.
funerals.
I just hear. I'm here.
Everybody
I'm
just
here for
tags along.
the refreshments. No, not those refreshments.
Funeral crashers. I'd say a new one, but I've heard of that before. All right. Well,
as long as like the adventure or the group decides to move towards furthering that skull fee, that is, there's no preference at all
okay.
to the actual adventure.
Okay. So, back to Garrett. You have snuck up very successfully. I mean, you can pretty much stand behind them and they're not going to notice you with that roll. Give me a second. One, and
I want to get close enough where I can hear them clearly. And if that means I sneak right up next to them, I will do that.
Okay.
I have no sense of social grace. I will.
Okay, so I will give you benefit of the doubt since you actually tied. So you do get closer, and you do notice that like one of them kind of catches you out of the corner of your eye, and you sneak back behind the pillar. That apparently they were really paying attention because they both rolled 19s.
Wow.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, so they're a little bit more aware than I think you were expecting, but you can still listen in for the most part. But short version is that the halfling did something kind of untoward to the dwarf and caused the dwarf to lose his train. And it's mostly just kind of going back and forth, blame game, not my faults. It seems like they might have this argument a lot. They're both fairly deep into the drink, and the dwarf is quite pissed off, and the halfling, you're not sure if the halfling can get pissed off, but it almost seems like they're friends or companions, or the dwarf hates the other and the halfling just won't leave him alone. It's hard to tell.
I don't understand the situation at all, but they're not whispering about fun things. So I'm going to head back to the table. I don't know what's going on with those guys over there, but I'm not interested in it anymore. Where are we going next? Did we work it out? No.
As long as there's black candles in a procession, I'm good going wherever we need to go.
Oz is still tinkering.
Oh, I was so cousin Oz. You have no desires, cousin Smith.
Wait, what?
To make it clear, my character thinks that you are a part of his family because of your past with Smiths. He is unaware that does not make you part of his family. He is unaware.
So you just assumed it was the last name. Gotcha.
He assumed it was the last name. He thinks that you are part of his family. Whether or not you like him, care about him, want to humor it, it does not matter. But he is unwilling to shake the thought that you are part of his family, and maybe his cousin.
Gotcha. I guess then I'll just what? I was kind of in the middle of something. What are we talking about?
Yeah, he's I keep poking and prodding, interrupting what you are clearly much more into, to see what almost like a kid trying to get his father to play catch with him.
What are you doing?
I just trying to bond with my new family. Trying to see what you're interested in. Uh-huh. What are you working on there? What's that? Why is there teeth on that lighter?
So, between our last adventures, I kind of went back to my old house and got one of my old inventions to see if it was still working. It's supposed to turn mana into muffins, and I'm gonna click the lighter. And I've kind of talked about this with Wander. This is my way to get like the first charge out of the way, just in case. And it's going to cast Detect Magic, but instead it's going to detect muffins.
Oh,
are there any muffins within Detect Magic radius?
Is there an Arcana? I think that Arcana is a thing. Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, roll that. Okay. That is more than enough. Ooh. It actually starts freaking out a bit.
Ooh.
You're not sure why though. Because normally it just like points to, or how does it detect muffin? What is the visual? Is it noise? Is it Is it a light?
It's
Is
more
it-
just your normal detect magic, but because of the nature of the device, it's just also throwing muffins in there, magic
Okay.
or non-magic.
Oh, you said it was a lighter, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. It
Okay,
looks kind of
so-
like a lighter. It does have the teeth on the top and gears, though.
Okay, so I'm gonna say the fire from the lighter will light up different colors depending on what kind of magic it is. Though you can't tell if it's type of magic or flavor of muffin at this point, and the fire will kind of blow in the direction of the nearest or largest source of muffins. And
We're going to
it
Drury
is-
Lane, boys.
It is.
I mean, I
it
think
is.
we have-
That being said, this is the first time I've ever used this, so I'm not even gonna know what the heck that means.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna kind of shrug and go, yeah, I don't see a muffin either.
it's
just go
it's
back to messing with
really
it.
pointing towards Jonas's drink.
Oh no.
Oh,
Hey,
And then it
Oz,
like
what's up
freaks
with your
out and
lighter?
starts pointing down and then left and then down again and then back to Jonas's drink. Do any of you guys is Jonas the only one with a refreshment here?
I did
believe
not
so,
get
yeah.
anything.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so none of you guys got lunch or dinner. You're all just kind of
Nope.
slumming it here.
No,
All
I was
right.
get up to get anything, so I didn't want to lose out on some family time.
I probably asked for some like chopped up bits of fruit for
Okay.
for Bubbles, but otherwise, and I might have eaten a little bit as well,
Okay.
which probably upset Bubbles, but otherwise no.
Okay. So, so you've barely eaten. Malthus is I don't know however much deep into the drink. It's still not that great. It's okay. And you guys, I don't know if you notice or care. I guess make perception checks.
All of us.
Yeah.
Perception.
I'm so good at
Oh, dear.
perception though.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So Malthus, you hear the clattering of dishes in the kitchen, and the bartender. You'd notice the bartender had gone into the kitchen. Not that unusual,
are we-
but you notice it.
Sorry, I think I missed where the bartender slid. Was it down the
He
stairs
went into the
or
kitchen.
north?
There's a door at the top of the map if you look.
North? Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to follow this bartender into the kitchen.
You were just gonna walk into the kitchen?
I'm just going to walk into the kitchen. I feel I feel there might be some livestock that is going to be potentially murdered by the bartender for food, and that intrigues me.
So you reach for the door, and it's a door that opens, I guess, outward from where you are, and you push it, and I'd say make another perception check, but I think your roll is good enough. The closer you get to the door, the more it sounds like there is something actually going on inside there that might not. Well, I don't know. I'd say might not be so fun, but might not be so fun for the bartender. You, on the other hand, it sounds maybe kind of exciting. There is the sounds of clattering pots, pans breaking. Some breaking porcelain, or I guess pewterware. Because porcelain would be expensive. But something breaks there. There's a lot of hissing, and you can hear the dwarf kind of shouting, but he's like muffled.
I feel like I would need to yell back to the rest of my party to alert them of what is going on in the current kitchen area.
So as you turn to yell, I'm going to say this thing kind of plops down in front of you.
No.
From above or below. You're not really sure. It's just there. And
Just there,
about at
okay.
the same time, you guys at the table notice that Jonas's drink has started to bubble over.
Oh no!
And that's real big. It's not supposed to be that big. So Jonas's drink has started to bubble over, and it kind of has a face. You're not really sure why, but it's It looks nasty, and you're not sure if Jonas wants to drink it anymore. Let's see. There we go. There's just a bunch of them. And gosh, how many is that? 7? Cool. So there's one more over here. All right. There you go. So these things have all just kind of popped up almost simultaneously with commotion. Jonas, you've turned to notify your companions. But really what you should be doing is rolling for initiative.
Hey.
All right.
So, if you click on your token and then roll initiative,
I'm assuming we're all rolling.
Yeah.
it should pop up in the initiative order thingy that Wonder will have.
Wow, the slimes go first.
My
Well, not necessarily.
initiative button says I attempted to use a roll command looking for the value of a selected token. But
Select
no
your
tokens are
token,
selected.
then hit the initiative button. It's a little funky.
Even though it's okay.
Yeah,
So even though
there
it's
you go.
oh my god, I rolled another. Okay, 6 is
All right.
all the way
It's
down. Let's
not-
go.
Giving me the option to roll initiative.
Click your character first and then hit the initiative button.
The initiative
Oh,
button
I
is on the core stats as well.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
on the sheet. Okay. hold on.
My core stats button didn't work until I selected my own character though.
Sorry. Initiative. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little
Ooh.
weird.
Hey.
Okay. So
I'm ready.
I think Cub goes first because
the
he has
slime,
great
the
dexterity.
slimes do just barely. They rolled the nat 20 as opposed to a nat 19.
True.
They're just slower. I don't know. I respect the roll the nat 20 a little bit, maybe more than some DMs. So I don't know. Sometimes that'll go haywire. But anyway, so
Okay, they need all the help they can get. Those punks.
well, so the one in front of you is going to try and take a swing at let's see. It's going to take a swing at Cub. It's not like it's really that big, but it's kind of like if you're getting attacked by, well, I mean, it's like a mug-sized glob of slime, half drank. By the way, Garrett, make a perception check, and Malthus, make a constitution check.
Okay.
Act in Malthus order.
Okay.
I'm so,
So-
good.
No.
I'm just staring at this thing on the table.
Garrett, it's not particularly relevant, but at some point, if you check up on Bubbles has thrown up in your hat.
Oh no.
And Malthus, your stomach feels kind of queasy as you realize that you probably just drank half one of these, but otherwise you don't feel too bad about it.
I was just gonna say.
All right, and Cub, you get very, very lightly smacked by Jonas's errant beverage for 1 damage.
Oh. Oh no.
Okay.
So wait, okay. Do I so I just mark that. Was that 1 damage? Mark it on the
It's
sheet.
yeah to the current HP under core stats.
Okay. Okay. All right. Over
Give
there.
me one
Gotcha.
second. I gotta pull up the stat block for the bigger dude.
So the bubbles
Okay.
above our characters are the max HP because that didn't update when I changed it. That must be. Max.
Yeah, I think you have to update those separately too.
Yeah. Okay, so slimes are going first. The slime near the pair is gonna just kind of attack them. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll roll. It does hit him. You heard like an ow as the dwarf gets smacked by his own drink. And let's see. They've both been drinking, so yeah, they're both very sick looking. They have been consuming a lot more than you guys have, and it did not go well for them. Let's see. So Jonas, I guess Malthus, the one nearest you is a fair bit bigger, and looks, a lot more put together than the others, and it is going to try and nope, it completely misses.
Yeah.
Well,
I was
all
gonna
right.
say he looks about as put together as I do when I wake up on most days. Poor man. He looks like he wants to be. He looks like he wants to be squashed. Oh.
I had fun drawing these things. I was just like, draw
I
shape, draw
loved-
face.
I love his expression. It's so good.
Mhm.
It wishes for death. Do you give it? All right. Let's see. So, let's see. Checking your armor classes. Okay, so Garrett, you get lightly smacked as well for how much? Also 1 damage. As the small army of mug slimes comes hopping straight for you. And now, Malthus, it is your turn. You've gotten.
Wait, don't I get to
Well,
go
they
first?
missed you.
I thought I was 17.
It says your armor class is 15 here.
My initiative should be
No.
17.
Yeah, he's talking about
Oh,
initiative.
yeah,
He
sorry,
should
I'm
be
reordering
before
this. I have to do that manually, I think.
Oh,
Numerically descending.
Oh,
There
so
we
it's
go.
actually-
Well, kind of.
Malthus. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so
Yeah, that makes
Cub, it's your turn.
So,
Sorry.
okay. So I'm trying to think because so they're it's the size of a mug, like it's straight up. So I'm trying
These
to
are
think.
not very big.
I guess-
Like
Yeah,
they're the size of like a large kitten? Question mark. They seem to grow a little bit beyond
no,
their
I don't want to
containers.
hit it.
Well, I mean,
Large kitten.
how about
What if this is also his son?
how about one of those like giant freaking sewer rats that like scare people when you see them?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
They're one of those
He's got
things.
a knife and he's insulted me directly. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. With,
All right, Dom,
with this being
go.
said,
Toretto.
let's see. I'm trying to think about the logistics of what it would really look like if I just took out my giant club and smacked this mug. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna.
Are you bringing the hammer down, or are you trying to baseball hit it?
Yes. I'm going to try and bring the hammer down and just basically splatter it across the entire table, probably getting on everybody. If
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. How logistically with the character sheet, what do I need to where do I need to go and click to make
Let
this
me
happen?
check. Cub
So
Smith.
there's a
did
couple of
you-
things. First of all, you could choose to cast Shillelagh before
true.
hitting it as a bonus action to make your club magical, which is fun.
That is true.
But under your weapons tab, I've set you up with 2 weapon attacks, one for the club and one for the Shillelagh.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there it is.
And
Yep,
so you would
okay.
just click the attack roll to make it work.
Yeah. I will make my bonus action of casting Shillelagh, which it just like basically magically infuses a wooden weapon of mine, right? And that's
Yeah.
just it makes it more powerful, basically. One
Yeah,
D instead
so,
of 1d4.
I'll
So-
just read it out. So, for the duration, for 1 minute, which is 10 rounds, you can use your spellcasting ability instead of strength. So you use your wisdom instead, which I believe is your higher stats. Instead
Yeah.
of strength for the attack and damage rolls, which means you're going to be more accurate and do more damage. And also, it goes from whatever the previous die was to a die 8, which is about the same as a longsword. And it becomes magical, which is useful for getting through certain damage reductions.
All right. Can I send it? Can I send the attack button?
Yep. If you hit the attack button, should work, and you clobber it. So unfortunately, these things are maybe just slightly tougher than you were anticipating, but you've pancaked it. It's just the pancake is still wiggling in your general direction.
Oh no. Oh no. 4 damage doesn't count. There's so many. My boys. Jonas, you
All
better start drinking some more. You killed half of one already by digesting it.
Oh wait,
know,
yeah,
that
that's
is
the
an
one that
option.
Jonas was eating. So yeah, that one is actually reduced. So that one is dead because it was already injured.
Yes, Jonas tag team. Malthus,
Yeah.
let's go.
All right. Let's see, Garrett, you have been blorped. It hurt a little.
So I am going to use my action to attempt to. I'm going to draw 2 daggers from my belt, and I'm going to slash out at the closest one, or stab out at the one that's closest to me here.
Okay.
How do you do the pen,
And-
by the way?
Hold down left click.
Okay.
15 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. You just
Cool.
cut straight through it. There's like no resistance. Your knife just passes clean through and it just falls to bits.
And
Smooth
then
like butterbeer.
I'm going to move and get off the floor because these beer mug creatures are wiggling on the floor and I don't like it. So I'm gonna jump up on this table over here.
Make a perception check, by the way.
Okay. Perception, which I'm really good at, as we've established. 4.
Okay, you don't notice. If anybody else
good.
wants to make a perception check, it's not terribly relevant.
I want to make a perception check.
Okay.
I think I'm too far away to perceive from from where I am.
Oh my.
I see it.
Okay, so Cub, you notice that these things are actually really elastic. So they're pretty hoppy. Not that it matters, unless you're Garrett.
How did you not notice, Malthus? What the hell?
And then so I've squished this one here, right?
Yeah, so you took out the first one. Yeah.
I am going to notice that Ozzy's a wizardy type person. He casts spells, and I don't want him to be getting slapped by these little slimy things. So I'm going to make an offhand thrown dagger attack with my sneak attack against the one adjacent to Ozzy.
Let's see. It's been a little while. Can you actually attack then move then attack?
Yep. Because the second in 5th edition they changed it so that you can move as much as you want in between attacks.
Okay.
And I'm actually using my bonus action to make an offhand attack, so it's a totally separate action as well.
Okay, perfect. Because I said, I'm still stuck in 3rd edition because I spent 20 years playing that, and I've only done a couple of 5th edition campaigns, so it throws me off pretty bad.
That's what I was just going to ask the same thing. I don't remember being able to move, attack, or attack, move, attack.
Yeah, it used
Honestly,
to be
it makes so much more sense.
In 3.5 in Pathfinder, you'd have to take
spring attack and a couple other things.
Spring attack or something. Yeah, it was a feat that you had to take, but now it's just you can do it.
Yeah,
as long as you have
works
movement
great.
left.
All right, so I guess roll your other dagger.
Yep. So I'm gonna add my sneak attack because I'm attacking a thing that's adjacent to a friend.
It is threatened.
But this. Oh my god!
Holy shit!
Oh wow!
Now, admittedly, so the damage is -3 because it's an offhand attack, so I don't get to add my my dexterity modifier.
Fine. You still absolutely lance this sucker. It's
To make it clear, it's 2 rolls
double
of 20.
What the heck?
I just
2 rolls.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give it to you there. That is just too perfect of a roll not to just hand it to you. The thing just plops down, is in the process of plopping down to the ground when Garrett's knife just cuts through from across the room and just pins it to the wall, and it is dead.
I got you, Oz. And then I'm going to just look around the room and see if there are any more of these little slimy things.
Wait, I think he.
That's
which one?
Malthus up there.
I think he was.
Oh no! I wasn't throwing it at the big one.
Malthus
I was throwing it at the one next to
You got the
Ozzy.
other one?
Yeah,
Oh, damn it. All right, well, I'd say you pinned this one to the wall, but it doesn't have enough HP for that. It's gone. There's nothing. There's a puff of smoke.
I was gonna say.
And your dagger is
I'd be able
on
to throw
fire.
it past the pillar. Oh.
Yeah, past the pillar.
your dagger looks like it's heating up a bit for some reason. That was such a hot shot. All right. So now that I've gotten over my character confusion, it's Malthus.
All right. I am going to attack.
You had a brief
the big
glance of
slime.
an alternate reality where this thing got deleted, and then
It's so
Had a
true.
sense of its death.
yeah.
It's true. I perceived it. I'm going to attack, but I'm going to cast False Life first, which bolsters myself with a necromantic. The seal of life gain 1d4 plus 4 temporary hit points. No, I misread this.
So the one thing I will say is False Life takes a whole
doesn't
action.
make-
So if you want to cast that, that's going to take your whole turn.
I actually misread it.
Okay.
I was thinking it would make my attack stronger.
Ah.
And the Ray of Sickness doesn't really seem like a great thing to do against something that is made of sickness. So I'm gonna smack the blob with my mace
Okay.
because it attacked me and I don't appreciate being attacked.
That is a good call on Ray of Sickness. It would not affect these things.
Should do it on yourself to rid yourself of the rest of his child.
So, quick question for Malthus. Did you end up going with that double cantrip that I'd suggested, or did you pick something else?
I did go with the cantrip of Toll of the Dead. Maybe that's what I was thinking of, actually.
I'm gonna just kind of more style than anything. Your mace is a bell, like it's a big heavy bell.
Like that. Yeah, actually, I forgot. I don't remember. This is meta, but I don't remember cantrips or how they work.
So cantrips have been changed. From 3rd edition, they were kind of weak piddly spells that would like not really help you that much. In 5th edition, cantrips are now kind of your basic bread and butter attacks. So instead of, firing the crossbow, you cast Ray of Frost, and instead of doing 1d3 damage, it does like 1d6, but to 2 different targets. And then that damage scales with level, and you don't have to spend higher spell slots. So cantrips are actually like really sweet in 5th edition. So
okay.
Toll the Bell.
So I can use Toll of the Dead. And I copied over the spell description. So you point at one creature you can see within range. At the sound of a bell fills the air around it for a moment, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage. If the target is missing any of its hit points, it instead take 1d12 necrotic damage.
Yeah.
So this thing
because
is
you are a death cleric, you can hit 2.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why I suggested it.
What's my range?
Okay, 30 feet. So if you look at the bar on the top left, there is a circle with a little ruler coming out of that. You can use that to actually create a rule, like a little ruler that snaps to other tiles to figure out the range. So everything is within range except for party members, but I'm pretty sure that's not your intention.
Okay, so I will use Toll of the Dead, and I will target Big Flubber and Little Flubber.
Okay.
With the dwarf and halfling there.
Let me check the wisdom on these things. I don't imagine. Yeah, they don't have any wisdom. All right, fail and fail. So roll a die 8 for the big one and a die 12 for the little one.
All right.
Because the little one was half drunk.
Yep.
So you said a die 8, die 12, right?
Yep. Perfect. Okay, so you do 4 damage to the big guy in front of you. Let's see. It's looking, took a chunk out. I guess I should probably... There we go. And the little guy, 2 damage. It's looking like it's on its last pseudopods, but it's not down and out for the count. But it's also not smart enough to realize that you're attacking it, and it is very much going for the dwarf. Who, I guess I should roll initiative for them. Where are they in the init? Well, actually... here, let me see if they can drunkenly do anything. Oh yeah, no, the dwarf just punched it into... I guess actually, I'm going to revise that. That one's already dead. I'll just have you do 2 damage to one of the other ones across the room. Because that dwarf apparently nat 20'd it into the sunset.
So many crits.
I don't know. I swear the RNG on Roll20 is rigged, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Don't worry, I'll bring us back home. Look at these 16, 17s, 18, 19s compared to my 6.
All right, so
I rolled a 4 and a 2. So I will change my my tertiary attack to this little guy.
Yeah. All right, and let's see, Ozti. I keep thinking Ozti, but it's not.
Oz. Easy. Oz is easier.
Oz. Okay, so Oz, you are up.
So
first, roll a perception check.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Okay, you have noticed that combat is happening.
Nice.
I nudged
Even
you
with
on
the one
the
that was
shoulder.
on the table.
I did shout out to him. I was
Yeah,
scared
you
that he
got
wasn't paying
shouted at.
attention.
I splatted one
He
somehow
had
on
he
his
had
shoulder, and I
advantage. I'll
still
give him
had
that. But
Oh,
Gotcha.
it splattered on his shoulder, and I
So,
still had to poke and prod him a little bit.
Can we say that I have like just a small pouch of stones so that I can cast Magic
Yeah,
Stone as a bonus
so-
action?
I'm not a stickler for a lot of these things. If your character
Gotcha.
would feasibly have a thing, so spell components I kind of just ignore, ammunition I just ignore. If you guys are on like a 7-month voyage away from civilization with no supplies, then you might have to like go grab some stones for an afternoon or something to reload. But like, I'm not going to be like, you ran out of stones the last encounter. I've done that before and it's miserable.
So I should keep track of this for the purposes of Magic Stone, though, because on every cast I can only make up to 3.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, if there's
Yeah.
a limited quantity for a reason, then you have to care.
Gotcha. But as far as like stones I could potentially enchant,
Yeah,
I've got to. Yeah.
If you were motivated enough, you could probably brick
feasible
one out of the
amount.
wall.
Gotcha. So yeah, I'm going to use that as my bonus action, and I threw it actually into my ranged attacks under weapons as an int attack because it uses spellcasting. So I should just be able to hit attack with that on the closest, so I guess the middle of the 3 slimes.
All right.
By myself and Cub. So I think if I press,
Okay. Well,
I rolled a nat 1. Let's go. The first nat 1 of the series.
You managed to, yeah. You managed to, with extreme accuracy, whiz the stone across the room and shatter not only this glass mug, but it ricochets, hits this one, and then knocks over the rest. You've demugged the bar.
Nice.
Strike.
You know, those could have been something else. You know, they could have.
It could have been more
I
slime.
didn't want
There could've been more
slimes.
slime.
Thinking.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
good
guys?
thinking.
Good thinking,
Good
Oz.
thinking, cuz.
Oh wait, there are slimes here?
I
You- you-
can't get over
um,
I can't get over like Cub just being Dom Torello from Fast and the Furious at the moment. I just can't do it.
I didn't even think about that.
Gotcha. So I guess I'm not even going to get up out of my chair. That's the end of my turn.
Why bother?
All right. So the
for the
slimes
help.
advance upon your position. Garrett, you did not notice, but these things are surprisingly jumpy. So they just kind of sloop up onto the stool and then onto the table to attack you. And then the others are going to advance. So starting with Garrett. 1. Ozti. Ozti. And then then Cub. So Garrett, I think you got hit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did.
All right, you take 3 damage. Ozti, they miss. Yeah, so you guys, the rest of you are fine. And then Malthus. You are... How tough is this thing? There we go. Oh, yeah, it hits you there.
Oh gosh.
So this one's a bit bigger, and it's a little punchier. And it hits you for a full 5. It hurts.
I see that. Yeah. Okay. Just wonderful. Yeah, you guys just continue at your table and playing with your letters.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about
So I guess Cub, it is your turn.
All right. Even though off to my left, I hear Garrett scream in pain. I am much more upset the fact that Oz almost got hit. So I decide to. Can I try and flip the table in front of me over, like squishing the guy underneath it, like just moving forward? Is that like a?
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
like the idea of that.
Okay, I'm gonna require.
I'll do whatever
I guess
need
give
to
me
do
a
to make
strength
that happen,
check.
even if it doesn't work. Yeah, that feels like it makes sense.
Strength or athletics if athletics is higher.
Do I?
He is trained.
Just
He's
hit the
trained in
save?
athletics.
Wait, what is that? What happened to me?
You're
I heard two
trained in
things.
athletics. I'm going to consider flipping
Yes.
a table to be an athletic maneuver.
Okay, so I can roll athletics. Right.
Yeah. All right.
Well-
You overturn the table. That part wasn't very hard. It's the violent attack overturn that
Yeah.
you didn't. So you end up with the
Yeah.
table on the ground and the slime kind of there in front of you.
Is it like my goal was to make it clear? Maybe was to like move forward to try and get a little bit closer to
Oh, yeah.
to Oz.
Yeah.
Is
So
that, can I logically assume that I flipped it and moved up one?
Yeah, the table is kind of like over here with its legs, kind of like that. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. My goal was just to get a better position to protect.
Yep.
Like, I mean, not even mechanically or anything, just flavor wise.
Yeah. Well, the one thing is because you are both effectively flanking the other slimes, you get advantage on your hits against them. So it's a plus.
If we attack diagonally?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Any
right.
square surrounding a monster is like if you have two allies there, you are considered flanking them, I believe. Unless I'm completely incorrect on that one.
It's a variant rule, but it's up to you. You're the DM.
And then is that like I can't make a bonus action or anything to try and hit the one in front of Oz,
No.
can I?
No, you are out of attacks unless you have some kind of bonus thing.
No, I was to make it clear, the thing that Garrett did is a bonus thing, unique to what, being a rogue, or just
because I'm fighting with two light weapons. So I drew two daggers. I can make my normal attack with my main hand, and then I can use my bonus action to throw an attack with my offhand.
So you've currently got one dagger in your hand, so you couldn't do that again without getting your dagger. My character does carry 3 daggers, so I do have another dagger in my belt, which I could draw and throw. So yes, technically I probably could, and I probably will next turn, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I guess I will say there is a dagger. There is a dagger that is slightly steaming on the ground, more or less right next to Oz, that you could grab on your next round and fling. But I don't know if you're actually even trained in that. So, anywho, so I guess it's the two random bar people's turn. They're pissed. They're sick and they're pissed. And they're actually going to come over and help Malthus. They're unarmed, but they're going to try and just brawl it to death. Let's see. So, the halfling hits for 4 damage. But yeah, they're just kind of hanging out with Malthus, just kicking it. What did I? Okay, that was weird. And
just making a new party.
Garrett and Malthus goes off with those two.
Bye. Thanks, Jonas. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
Garrett, it is now your turn. Gosh, if I had been thinking about it, I could have actually just snuck in like Penta's character and somebody else.
Yeah, true.
Here, give me a second. I'm gonna do that. Penta's character's here, but he's not here.
He's just helping beat up the slimes.
Yeah, and then he's gonna leave.
Clever. I like that.
And then you will have to explain to Penta that his character's seen you before.
Well, but he might not remember.
We'll know it.
He's so drunk anyways.
Mm-hmm.
He's so drunk.
It's just
he's got a belly full of slime.
That's a good point. He's drunk and he's sick. He's having a bad day.
He's got a belly full of slime and he's hanging out with a halfling.
Yep.
That's just a regular weekend.
Slime, having a good time.
I guess I'll just do that for now. There we go. I haven't separated that one out yet, but you know what? I'll fix it later. Let's see. Okay, so Garrett, it is your turn.
Okay. I am going to stab the one that's right in front of me, because otherwise I'm stuck in my position. So I'm just going to stab it. Stab. 19.
All right. Yep. You delete this one as well. They're not very strong. And I have official rule lawyer, I guess. Well, official rule lawyer, but the official rules for flanking is you have to be on opposite sides of the creature. However, adjacency works for sneak attacks. So if it was Garrett next to a creature that Cub is also next to, that's how you get the sneak attack bonus, give or take.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I always have trouble reading flanking rules. Same thing with grappling, bull rushes, and a couple others. All right.
So I've stabbed the one that's right in front of me. I'm looking over, and our big friendly giant is like going all ape man on
Yeah.
the two over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so unfortunately, you can't even see the other two
And
slimes
see the
because there's
slimes,
no
yeah.
table in your
Yep.
way.
Yep. I like it. I like it.
So I am going to go and help Malthus then. I'm coming, Malthus! And I'm going to come over here and pull out my other dagger and try and stick it in this thing's squishy bits.
Okay.
With my
I mean, that shouldn't
offhand.
be too hard.
So once again, yeah, hopefully not. I mean, the whole thing is squishy bits, right?
Yeah.
So I'm using my sneak attack on this attack, and it'll be -3 damage because it's my offhand.
Okay.
Wait, that is. I did not add. Sorry, my macros are not set up correctly. I didn't add a dice roll to the to the sneak attack. So did I hit with a 17?
Yes.
Okay, so I just do 1d4 plus 1d6 damage.
Yep.
So I'll just manually roll that 1d4 plus 1d6 -3, which is what the 3, stat damage is.
Okay.
There. So
you
pretty good roll. 7.
You hit it for a solid 7. It's leaking. There's not much of this thing left.
Ew.
Malthus. What do you do?
Okay, so if I don't use Toll of the Dead and I just smack it with my bell, I can then move afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Am I understanding that okay? Okay. So
Yep.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to smack it like the bad slime it is with a bell that's on the end of a chain or something. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And
I was thinking just a bell on a long, like, steel rod. It's maces are the solid ones. Flails are the ones that you swing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I got you. Okay, I'm going to roll the attack.
All right. You don't have dice set up for that either.
So I need to roll a d4.
Let's see. It's a mace. Give me a second.
Apologies.
No, it's heavy mace, so it's a die 6. Let's see. So damage dice 1d6. Is that it?
Added it to my sheet.
There we go. Let's see. I'm just gonna roll an example attack. Perfect. So yeah, it should work now.
Okay,
when you
so
roll.
I'll just re-roll.
I guess you could just take that damage or that.
I'll take the re-roll now that it's set up. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So
right.
2 damage.
Okay. Wow. There is like a shred of slime left, but it is still going. Oz, what are you gonna do?
Oh, wait 1 second.
Yeah.
My turn's not done. Because I can move.
Right, you're gonna move.
So I know I can't. I presumably I can't walk past the slime to here.
Yeah, you can. You can move at least that far. I think there's.
Okay. I'm not going to though.
Leave, yeah, if he leaves range, it's the opportunity attack, right?
Correct. So as long if you stay within squares that are threatened by the slime, so if it has a 5-foot range, all the squares around it, you can move around it as much as you want, and you can move through allies' squares. If you move out of its range and it hasn't used its reaction yet, it can try and hit you.
Okay, so if I were to just bear with me for a second, leave and go check on the dwarf in the kitchen at this point, because I trust the 3 other people, I would then get attacked leaving to the kitchen.
It would hit you from behind.
My current HP is 5. You know what? I'm an inattentive person. I'm going to move to here, and then I'm good.
Okay. So, I guess with that, it's The slime's turn. You haven't been hitting it too much, so I think it's gonna try and.
Wait. It's back to my
right,
turn.
Oz's
Isn't it?
turn. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I said Oz's turn, and then it went back to Malthus, and then I got lost.
Understandable. Okay,
That's
so
my bad.
I'm
That's my bad.
I'm trying this again. Same one right in front of me.
All right,
There
this
we
time
go.
you get
We'll
it.
take
You skip
that.
a stone straight off its
Let's
face, and it's
go.
gone.
Also, I wanted to throw out there real quick. Magic Stone says it adds my entire spellcasting modifier to the bonus damage.
Correct.
But because I put it in under my ranged weapons, it's only adding the 3 instead of the full 5.
Let's see. Let me double check.
You can change the damage type. So just change the
No, it's not the type. So I put it in under my weapons as well for when I make ranged attacks with one of the magic stones. And because both the 2-hit and bonus damage are supposed to be my full spell casting ability modifier,
So-
they should both be 5s, but it's
No.
autofilling to 3.
So the extra stuff that you're getting for the 2-hit is your proficiency bonus, which is never added to damage.
Gotcha. Okay,
The
so
modifier that's being added to
spellcasting
damage is your int.
ability. So it's
What
just
is your
when it says
int modifier?
ability, my ability modifier is just
3.
ability modifier is 5, isn't it? Because isn't ability modifier proficiency plus?
Nope.
no.
Nope.
Okay, gotcha. So it's only specifically for the rolls with it. Okay, so yeah, no,
Correct.
never mind. Then it's all correct.
Yep.
We got it.
Yep. You're good.
So I killed
Okay.
one,
So yeah, you
and
skip
Way
the
to
stone
go.
off the slime, and you're all good.
I'm probably just gonna move one
Um,
up from the corner.
It's worth noting that unless you have point blank from something, ranged attacks in melee combat or against targets that are in melee combat with you normally come with disadvantage. Not going to matter with your roll because you rolled really
Yeah.
well on both dice, but
Gotcha. I will keep that in mind.
Yep.
It
All
didn't
right.
matter first time either with that one.
I'm going to kind of rules lawyer that you can also just like smack them with a stone in your hand, like a caveman.
Gotcha.
That is
Ooh.
also an option for you. Let's see. Anyway, the slime no longer cares about Malthus, because Malthus is not much of a threat to it, whereas Penta hit it pretty bad. So it is going to actually hit Penta. And
Kill him.
hits him.
Penta can't play.
Penta's dead. Well, I mean, Penta did say he might be re-rolling a new character. Suffice to say, Penta takes a big hit. I don't think he's down, but he's gotten hit twice now for a fair bit. So the character that you do not recognize as Penta's maybe character has taken some licks. He's looking pretty bad. And he's looking pretty pissed. But Cub, it's your turn. Oh, right. I guess this little guy's going to try and hit you too.
You go for me.
Whoops. All right.
He does it.
Cub, you take an additional 3 damage as this thing just absolutely like jumping beams you right in the nose.
Oh no. All right. I mean, I guess I could just do just a regular old. To be clear about cantrips, they're still using level 1 spells. Is that how?
No,
they don't use a
cantrips
spell
are a
slot,
separate
no.
class you can use as many times as you want.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Just
toss them out.
forever. Okay. Yeah, that seems busted. Okay, then I will shillelagh because it is just fun to say.
Yeah.
Shillelagh lasts
Kind of.
a minute. So
It lasts for a minute.
So how long is each
Mhm.
turn then?
6
time-wise?
seconds.
Okay. Never mind. Then yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll just do another smack
All right.
or an attempted smack.
You attempt. Let's see.
It would have been good.
Would have been good. That would have absolutely destroyed it. But alas, Garrett, it is
That
your
would have
turn.
been a family rage.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so what I've been doing has been working pretty good, and I have both of my daggers, my 2 remaining daggers, in my hands right now. So you said the one in front of me looks like really bad, like it's been smushed and sliced up and stuff, right?
I'll be honest with you, it's got 1 HP. It's just waiting for somebody to finish it off.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and tickle.
Fine.
I'm gonna try and tickle it with a regular dagger attack.
Okay.
No sneak attack.
Well,
for
you
17
more
to
than
hit.
succeed. I was kind of hoping you'd just try and like jump the puddle, but no, you shred whatever is left of it to shreds, you say, and it is gone, and you are left in a. I'm gonna say, yeah, it's a quiet tavern now. A couple rounds of combat have left. Have but come and gone. I don't know. And the two other tavern goers are pretty much too drunk to offer you a proper thank you or anything. And the Birdman is looking pretty worse for the wear. They're gonna just stagger right out. And they're like, nope, bye.
Whoa, they are fast.
There's still that little one that booped Cub on the
you're
nose, right? As well.
They've pieced out anyway. That was their turn.
They can't see it. To be fair,
Yeah.
you guys don't know it still exists. For all you know, it's gone.
It's
Everybody
true.
up there.
A little
Malthus,
table for it.
it is your turn.
Yes. So I can't see that slime behind the table. So I think what I'm going to
Correct, I
do
ruined it.
now is revert back to my original wonderful plan that spawned all the slimes in the first place, and I'm going to move into the kitchen.
Okay.
To
Make a
check on
strength
the
check.
bartender.
Okay. You throw the door
Whoa.
open.
Oh, no.
Throwing away the boxes and barrels that were stuffed against the door, to reveal 2 kobolds, a weird ass frying pan,
Oh.
and a dwarf that they have now tied up. We'll get to that in a bit. It's not immediately combat unless you're ready to attack them then and there.
No, can I close the door again? Or
Yes.
is it broken?
Yes, you can close the door.
I'm going to close the door.
Okay, you close the door.
As they have not noticed me, I see the 2 kobolds.
Oh no,
and-
they noticed you. I mean, you dropped a
They
barrel on
noticed
one
You
of
just
them.
ripped
Yeah.
the door off.
Oh, that's
He's gonna
right.
make a
that's-
dex
okay.
save, otherwise he gets hit by a box. He does
Dwarf
not.
looked at
You
closing
have
the
hurt.
door.
You have hurt the poor kobold. It is wounded. You've pinned it underneath a
my-
barrel.
Okay, that might change my plan. Yeah, the
They look
bartender's the one
scared
that's
shitless. So you got some options here that aren't just fighting.
Yeah. I feel like I want to try to use like they're clearly aggressive, right? Like is
No,
what you said.
not
Like
really.
they're
They've tied up the dwarf, so like they don't have good intentions, but it's not like they've got weapons out and they haven't rolled for initiative yet.
okay. I'm going to try to communicate with the brown-chinned kobold here.
Okay, he is
To see
pinned under
what's
a
going
barrel
on.
at your feet. You're
I'm
standing
going to
over
ask
him
him
triumphant.
if he's actually okay, or I'm going to
The
apologize
advantage.
first. I'm going to apologize.
first.
Malthus is
Okay.
also Canadian.
Sorry.
I couldn't help that.
Okay, so while Malthus attempts diplomacy, we'll leave that for a bit. Oz, it is your turn.
Oh. Wow. Okay. For some reason, I was not. Actually, I think at this point we've gone through 10 rounds, which technically means Magic Stone has ended, so I need to cast it again, but it's a bonus action, so.
It's only been like 3 rounds.
No. So when
no,
it
it's-
comes to rounds and durations,
is it
you are all taking your
the
rounds kind of
entire round, or
simultaneously.
is-
Yeah.
Okay, so the entire round is 6 seconds. Oh, we're fine then. I'm going to use my
Yeah.
last Magic Stone. Boop.
All right, and
And
you
even with
just bring it
disadvantage,
down. Something
Or-
primal
yeah, I
awakens
do.
within you, and you just splat the thing with a nearing
I give a
accuracy.
little cheer. I'm very happy.
All right, and with that, that is a very good stopping point, at least for the first part of the Wholesome Verse at the Table, Bog and Grog incident. There's many names for this campaign, and I'm still trying to figure out which one to call it by, but I like Bog and Grog all the same. So, with that, a couple of things before we go. First and foremost, this is actually the group's first 5th edition campaign together. I think Lalash specifically has played 5th edition a fair bit before. Rito and Jonas has played 3rd edition, and then Madi had never played before, and I think they all did quite well. Obviously, there was a little bit of, kind of newbie getting used to this sort of thing ness to this episode, but I'm very proud of them. They picked it up real quick, and we were able to get underway almost immediately. And it was a ton of fun too, and everybody else seemed to think so as well. So I will say there's two more parts to this little mini series, and then hopefully by the time that the last one is out, we'll have already filmed the second session, which I will say may not involve any of these guys. I will be switching up the cast often, almost entirely from the Wholesomeverse, but we might pull in some guests here and there too. But there's a bunch of us that have expressed interest in D&D, and I am only human and I can only DM for so many people at once. So we will be doing a heavy rotating cast. It's going to be a lot of one-off adventures for quite a while, just getting everybody used to it, building the world up a little bit, maybe trying out some different settings, maybe even occasionally sidestepping into other systems as well. But then once we've all kind of hit a nice rhythm, have nice scheduled sessions, and don't have to worry about things dropping off, then we'll dive into something a little longer and a little bit more epic, expansive. You know how it works. So if you guys want to watch this series, it is going to be up on this channel on Wanderbot Prime, at least on my end, and it will also be streamed regularly on Twitch. So if you want to catch the sessions live, pay attention to Discord, because I will be announcing them all there. And lastly, I guess speaking of Discord, if you do want to get involved in the community and talk about our campaigns together, I will leave a link in the description below to both the Wholesomeverse Discord and my own, and I think discussions will be going on both of those. So, with that, I guess one last thing, if any of this was unfamiliar to you and you want to learn more about D&D, I'm going to leave a whole bunch of links in the description below to how to play D&D, where to get the books, various resources, and so on and so forth, and to Roll20, which is the web client that we use to play this. So for those of you that were wondering how we were playing this, it's Roll20 using custom assets that I made for myself. So, with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as we did, and we will see you guys on the next episode of the Wholesomeverse at the Table, Bog Grog.